Okay, so beginning our restorative practice this evening, finding first a very comfortable seat and beginning right here, not by looking for, oh, how can I sit in the most perfect yogic looking pose, but really finding a comfortable seat where you can feel your sitting bones evenly pressing down. I like to sit up on my pillow because it gives me a little bit more space to lift up out of my lower back and find that nice firm seat. You might rock back and forth. You might just need to fidget a little bit and find some circles with the spine, maybe on the shoulders, maybe just the stretching the neck out. Taking a few breaths to gradually settle into stillness and close the eyes. And when you get to it, take the biggest inhale you can. Really feel the belly expand, the chest expand, the tops of the lungs really lifting the collarbones up, the throat filling, holding it in at the top. And then exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Emptying completely. And then inhale the shallowest breath you can imagine. And exhaling, soft and shallow. And then find that even, middle, full, easy breath. Having explored sort of both ends of the spectrum, you can find this middle pathway more easily. And breathing and feeling the breath in the body. And noticing how this even, easy breath naturally rejuvenates us. Refreshing our awareness and our attention. Bringing us into the present moment. And allows us to arrive in our practice. And knowing at any point in our practice that this is what we are doing this for, to find this easeful presence. So you can always return to this simple seated position or any other position where you can access this easeful presence. Inhale. Exhale, let your right ear fall to the right shoulder easefully. Extend your left fingertips off towards the ground easefully. Feel the shoulder blade on the back. Feel the length in the side of the neck. See what happens if you tilt your chin a little bit further down towards the earth. Inhale, release, letting the head come up to center, letting the left hand come back to the left knee. And take a breath in the center, pausing to assimilate, to find our presence. Inhaling. Exhaling, left ear to left shoulder. And then extending right fingers down towards the earth. And breathing into the posture, feeling the opening through the chest, through the neck. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhaling, arriving. Keeping the breath smooth and easy, softly blink open the eyes. Let the gaze fall steady. And let's slowly shift to come to stand on our shins. And if you are on a hard surface or have tender knees, you can always bring a blanket underneath the knees. And we'll take our straps and unwinding it, bringing it out. So if your arms come out right in front of you, your hands are just maybe a few inches wider than the shoulders, and you can pull that strap nice and tight. Roll the shoulder blades onto the back. Feel the tops of the feet press down into the earth. Feel the lower belly rise, the chest rise, the tailbone drops. And keeping this strong, steady midline. Inhale, lifting the arms up and overhead. And then exhale. See if you need to walk your hands out a little bit wider to bring the hands and arms down behind you. Coming down to hip level. Inhale, come up and over. And exhale, hands come down in front of you to the hips. And move like that with your breath, inhaling up, exhaling down and back, inhaling up, exhaling down and back, and try to keep the breath smooth and matching that smoothness with the movement. So you may notice that there is a point where you kind of naturally get stuck, and see what you need to do to make that transition smoother. Maybe it's slowing down the breath, slowing down the movement. Maybe it's making the physical adjustment of widening the strap. Feeling the space in between our shoulders, softening getting more flexible, bringing more openness into our hearts. And taking a few more rounds. The next time your hands come down in front of the hips, you can sit back onto the heels. You can put the strap down and roll the wrist out. Hi, Dad. Nice to see you. You just need a strap and a pillow. And then again, taking the strap in hand. And this time, we're going to keep it a little bit closer. So shoulder width distance, and you can lift the hands up overhead. And you can find the measure of where you want your hands to be on the strap by plugging the shoulder blades down and then kind of walking the hands in as much as you can without them lifting up, without the chest flaring open, finding that nice steady seat, that midline, pulling in, lifting up. And then we'll just start to make circles with the arms. So leaning forward and leaning backwards. And I think it's nice here to have the strap just to make sure that we're making space in the body rather than creating tension. If you find this like really super easy and you don't have a lot of shoulder tension that you're working through, I'm having some shoulder issues. So I like to keep mine nice and wider, but if you don't want the strap, you can get rid of it. And then just switch directions of how you're moving the circles around the body. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, just releasing the hands to the lap, releasing the strap. And now let's just take one more stretch before we're going to move into some hip opening, floor-based postures. We're just going to take one more thing on our necks and our shoulders. So you'll take your hands and you'll interlace them behind your back. I'm going to turn around so you can see what I mean. Interlace the fingers behind the back and make note of which thumb is on top. And then you're going to roll the shoulders down the back and hug the elbows in towards each other, feeling the opening across the chest. Feel the lower belly engaged so you're not flaring out the ribs, but keeping everything tied into a nice straight and steady core line. Inhale, and then exhale, just bring your hands over to the left side of your waist and let your right ear fall over to the right shoulder, maybe angling the chin down towards the earth. And you're keeping the elbows hugging in towards each other. Feeling the chest open, feeling the neck open. On an exhale, release the hands. You can shake out the wrists, roll out the shoulders, roll out the neck. Taking a few breaths. And just maybe find stillness for a breath or two and feel how the pose settles in the body. Tap back into that presence through the breath. And then taking the hands behind the back again and crossing the opposite thumb on top. Rolling the shoulders back, pulling the elbows towards each other. Inhale. And then exhale, the hands come to the right side of the waist. Elbows stay hugging together. And you can drop your chin over to the left. Couple more breaths here. And releasing on an exhale. Shift forward onto hands and knees. And you can move through some cats and cows or hip circles. You can just tap the feet on the earth. Might feel nice to refresh the ankles. And then just come down to lie on your back. And you're going to want to have your bolster nearby for upcoming poses. So we will just begin by resting and bringing the feet as wide as the mat, letting the knees fall in towards the center. I like to have my hands on my body. It's nice to feel the breath. It feels grounding. But you can have your arms in another comfortable position. Finding that just right breath. Finding your presence in the present moment. On an exhale, just roll your head to the right. Inhale, roll up through center. And exhale, roll to the left with the head only. Inhale up through center. Exhale, head falls to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through center, and now adding our arms, you can bring them out to a T if you'd like. On the exhale, the knees fall to the left as the head falls to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, head to the left, knees to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twisting. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. And twist. Center. And twist and stay here in the twist. Really let the body totally release here. Inhale, the knees rise through center. And exhale, falling off to the opposite side and staying and breathing. And being present. What else can you relax? What else can you let go of? Inhale, the knees come up through center. Let's walk the feet in so they're just about hips width distance apart. And pushing through the left heel, send that leg out long onto the mat. Flexing back through the foot, really feel the engagement through the back of the leg. And then hugging the right knee in towards the chest. And you can let the knee come out to the side a little bit, but watch what happens in your hips. And don't let them we have a tendency to let our hips really hike up to the right. So if you find that happening, see what happens if you consciously tuck that left pelvis point down and square off the hips. And once you kind of find this equilibrium where you can be easeful, then you can release the effort in the leg. And you can release any effort you feel in the arms. And just sort of breathe into this posture. Gently feeling the front of the left hip flexor open, the whole psoas complex is what we're getting into here. And feel the breath and the belly. Take an inhale. And then exhale, just release the right foot to the earth. And then bend the left foot so both feet come down to the earth. And you can let the knees fall in and just feel the pose or that side of the pose settle. See what you can be present to experience in the body. How deeply can your awareness penetrate the physical experience, the mental experience, and the practice? And then returning to center, the right leg extends strongly down onto the ground, pressing the heel away, pressing the top of the, or the back of the leg rather, down into the earth. And hugging the left knee in. Letting the left knee come slightly off to the side of the body towards the armpit without displacing the hips. Finding that stableness, you can release the effort in the leg. And relax and breathe, and notice that I'm leaving us some silence. To be present. Couple more breaths. And releasing both feet coming to the earth on an exhale. The knees can knock in. Recenter. Bringing your feet to hips width distance. Press down into the feet, lift the hips, and you can slide the bolster like very firmly underneath your pelvis. So when you set the pelvis down, it's all on there, really sturdy, really stable. And from here, we're going to do the same thing that we just did from the ground, but now with a little bit of elevation. So we'll begin with the left leg, extending the heel forward, keeping the toes pulling back towards the face, the back of the leg engaged, right leg hugs in. Feel the pelvis release down into the prop. And we can relax the feet. Relax the rib cage down towards the earth. And notice the shift in the tone of the pose. With just the hips lifted slightly. When you're ready, use an exhale to come through center, pause in center. And then switching sides when you're ready, right leg comes forward, left leg hugs in, set it up with engagement, with attention to alignment. And once you've found that comfortable balanced alignment, you can relax, breathe. When you're ready, we'll release back to center and plant both feet on the earth for a moment. And then we'll extend both legs out straight, flexing through the feet to begin. Feeling the supported pelvis, the supported lower back. And then you can release the engagement through the feet. And notice what it feels good to do with the arms here. You can keep them on the body. They can be in a T. You can reach up overhead and really get this nice, gentle opening through the whole front of the body. And releasing when you're ready, bringing the feet back to the earth. The hands come down alongside the body. Inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips. Set the prop off to the side for a moment and let the hips come down and just feel the whole spine supported. You can let the knees knock in towards each other. And from here, we're going to come to Supta Baddha Konasana. So you might want to push up to a seated position just ever so briefly to prop yourself up for this. The bolster will come underneath the knees, the soles of the feet together, the knees fall open. Your nice and supported by your bolster here. And if you feel like you need to, if your knees are like far away from the earth and don't quite meet the bolster, I just never thought of this before today, but there's a good trick. You can turn your pillow up on its taller edge and use that to bring yourself some extra support. And once you find that, you can just ease yourself back to a reclined position. And again, the hands can do whatever it feels nice for the hands to do. Again, I like to have my hands on my body and just feel the breath coming and going. And I find that brings me into presence. And part of this being present, I think, is reminding ourselves of our physical form, coming back to our bodies and space. Coming back to the practice of yoga as being an attempt to properly situate ourselves, our consciousnesses, our being in space and time. Softening, releasing, and surrendering to just being. Whenever you're ready, you can come into your Shavasana. Just extending the legs out long. I think it's nice to have the support of the pillow still. If you prefer not to, make adjustments as needed. Let the hands come so the tops of the hands are all resting on the ground. The hands are down alongside the hips. Spine is long and easeful. Face is soft. The belly is soft. heart melts. And we still have about 5 minutes left of practice together. I would invite you to remain where you are. If you are happy and restful and feel like Shavasana is very generative for you. Or you can join me in the position where we began to just explore this same restful presence. From a different vantage point. Position we began in, finding that nice central aligned seat, supported underneath the hips if that makes you more comfortable. Hands resting. Finding that nice, restful ease and presence. you are still in your Shavasana, please take the time over the next few breaths to slowly enliven and awaken and join us in a seated position. We'll bring the hands to heart center. Bow the chin into the chest. Filling this space with whatever calls to you, gratitude, intention, more silence and stillness. Inhale and exhale, bowing forward to close the practice. Namaste.